Thank you for everyone's attendance this evening. We'll start the meeting with the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The board members have received the minutes from January 2022. I ask for approval of those minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the January board meeting minutes.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved. Pioneer, we didn't miss anything. Personnel.
First, on the list tonight, Ashley Eagle, our middle school boys volleyball coach.
I'll make a motion to approve Ashley Ecall for middle school boys volleyball coach.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
Second on the list, Elizabeth Adamick, bus driver.
I'll make a motion to approve Elizabeth Amick as a bus driver.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion approved.
And then Carolyn Marks as our 5th and 6th girls basketball assistant coach.
I'll make a motion to approve Carolyn for the 5th and 6th grade girls basketball assistant.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? And motion approved. Final item would be the claim docket for this evening.
Make a motion to approve the claim docket.
Page 7 to 21.
It's pretty.
Yeah. It's a visual.
Do I have a second by the board?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Claim docket approved. Public comments. Are there any public comments this evening?
Was the balance sheet ignored or part of the claim docket?
That's not, oh, I'm sorry, that was ignored, not on purpose.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you for.
I'm just reading along.
No, thank you.
You are quicker than I am.
Yeah, there you go.
Just get ready to-
I missed my checks, need my spectacles. So we'll revert back to balance sheet. Do you have any questions? Why that's out there? Do you have any? Okay, then going back to balance sheet for information purposes. Any questions by the board of the balance sheet? Now let's get back on track with the 2022-2023 calendar.
This is the first draft version you're seeing. Got emailed to you the other day. It's in your packet tonight. Alyssa and I have been swinging and missing on getting together for a discussion with all the weather cancellations. So hopefully this week we will get together from a discussion standpoint on that calendar. But look it over. If you've got any questions, concerns, suggestions, we'll continue over the next month working on that for next year. Again, we always try to line up with LaPorte County, the special ed co-op and the vocational co-op as a driver. Part of what we were shooting for was both trying to give ourselves as much of this summer in particular to make sure we got everything done on the project and that we're ready for next year. But at the same time, not trying to get too out of balance on first semester versus second semester number of days. So that's about as close as we can get with, by starting on the 11th and 12th with teacher days and starting with a full week for students. It's a little different than what we've done in the past, but again, this is a first draft.
What kind of changes were made this year? Any major ones?
Just typically, typically people would be used to having 2 teacher days, Monday, Tuesday, students starting that first week on Wednesday.
Yeah.
We,
So just a 2-day difference.
yeah.
Any other, because I thought somebody had stopped me, was I part of the Martin Luther King Day? Did we have that up last year?
We didn't have it last year, but I
Or the current
realized,
year, I guess.
yeah, or this year, yeah, we didn't have it on there this year. We were the only one in the county that, well, I shouldn't say that. 1 or 2 in the county used it as an e-learning day.
Westfall is the e-learning day.
A couple of the schools in the county take it off completely. Right now, I've got it sitting there as a day off,
Okay.
but it could be.
I was approached by that, and I said, well, the
Okay.
teachers are part of that decision.
Yeah, yeah.
Negotiations, I just want to make sure.
So we're looking at that and doing something with that day.
Isn't this a week later than normal? Or no?
Yeah, as far as the
Okay,
start,
Okay, because it was full, yeah.
yep,
Got
and try to just maximize that one
Yep.
more week so that the project's done.
Yep.
So that's the calendar. And like I said, we can talk that through over the next few weeks. Item number 8, tax rate information. If you look at page 23, you've got a spreadsheet there. Guy and I worked on this. But basically what I want to point out, to me, excellent information. With our overall tax rate now sitting at, let's call it 73 cents, there are very, very few schools in the northwest quadrant of Indiana with a lower tax rate, overall tax rate than what we have. And I think it's good information that, for everybody to know that, even as we are making improvements and making long-term investments, we've got a very low tax rate. That's a great thing. And I just want you to be aware of how that stacks up to the surrounding counties within LaPorte County. So I've got it color-coded for you based on the counties that we, and really the color-coded counties there, other than St. Joe and Marshall, we pick kids up in those counties, or right close to the county line. But I just wanted to see what the tax rate is there.
So ours is the lowest in the Fort County.
Yeah, we're lowest by far in LaPorte County. And LaPorte County is colored kind of a mint green color there.
I didn't realize Westville was high.
Yeah, so ours is sitting at 73, and Westville is at $1.14.
South Central's is almost $1.
That's high.
Yeah, SC is closing in on $1.
So 23% less than Central.
Yep.
What did you say?
23%.
Less than South Central.
And then you look at, for the closest to us, size comparison wise, Oregon Davis has had to push that up to,
Oh, wow, that's-
what, $1.24, I believe?
Yeah.
And
And New Prairie is really high too.
so that's for information purposes there.
And this is including addition, correct?
Yes,
To bond.
yeah. Yep, that's with
What'd you
the,
say?
That's with the bond.
That's
with
with the
Ocean
bond,
Yeah.
okay.
yep. Yeah, that's with that nickel increase to
Well, yeah.
get us, so,
Thank you.
yes.
Tell Guy I appreciate him putting that together.
Yes.
Thank you.
On one page.
Yeah, no,
On one page.
Good job on one page.
Yeah.
Number 9, you had given me a permission through email to place that order for the Tiger Din floor scrubber. The invoice is there, number 24, so that you can see we spent a little over $10,000 on that necessary item, but we'll get an official motion and approval tonight, please.
Motion first purchase of the
Aaron's
floor
got it.
scrubber.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion
Thank
approved.
you. And then a little bit of good news on, we did get a full insurance claim come through. If you recall, we had to replace a chiller here at Wanatah that failed on us, but there was a power surge involved. So after our paying our $5,000 deductible with insurance, they picked up the other $19,150 for a total payment to Dakin of $24,150. So that was very nice.
So are they liking us much right now, the insurance companies?
Probably not so much.
Yeah.
They're probably not.
What was the total amount, please?
Gentle.
The 21,
This will.
$24,150 was.
oh,
the total.
24,000.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yes,
That's good enough.
it is good information.
Yeah.
We will get that out.
Must be able to do chiller.
Yeah, no, to your point, Tim, yeah, that is on the flip side, so that was good news. Some other good news, I guess, I'll throw this in here, it's not on the agenda, but since we paid for the latest Christmas time water damage, we didn't want to make that another insurance claim out of risk of just getting dropped. Servpro did, I asked them, can you go back and see if there's any room, and they did whittle some off. They knocked off 5%, since they realized it wasn't, I'm not turning this into insurance, I'm gonna pay for this out of our dollars. Is there anything you can do? So they went up to the head honcho and they took off 5% for us.
That's good.
That was a little bit of help.
Right.
Number
How
11.
long were they involved?
They, about 8 hours on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So that was because of age, wasn't
I
it?
wonder how many
Yeah.
days did they have to put fryers and so forth in?
They did, they had so many dehumidifiers and fans and,
I honestly thought Aaron was playing a joke on us.
I know, yeah,
Was that mostly caused by age?
Yeah.
Behind the walls?
yeah. It's just basically pipes and stuff, everything's getting rolling and everything's cracking and breaking real easy.
Where was the water damage at?
That was at the high school.
Okay.
LaCrosse High
Did a
School.
pipe break?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep,
But not because of heat related, it was.
Yeah, it wasn't just a little,
yeah.
it was,
Yeah, that
Board
happened
members
Christmas
and-
Eve into Christmas Day.
Okay.
so they spent their Christmas and Christmas Day at the
And then they had holiday charge.
Yeah, that one.
Maybe that's what the 5% break was.
It could have been, they could have knocked that back off for us, but.
Well, that was good.
Brian, you're up.
So you can do it.
One, two, wow.
Thank you. This one. We'll get that one to Justin.
Thank you.
Thanks for the packet, guy.
No problem. So, all right, so I went to, in late July, I think it was right after I found out that I was gonna have both buildings, but I already had planned. I wanted to go to Pevlin Elementary in Belleville. Pevlin was built in 2017, and I had been already talking to the lady that I was looking at, the salesman for furniture, and she said, you gotta go check out their furniture. And when I walked in and just saw the setup of their classrooms, and granted, the building's 5 years old, so it's a new building, but seeing the furniture in there, my first thought was, I wish my kid could go here. Because it was just amazing to see their classrooms and how they're set up, and just how kind of innovative they are. And I've been one before I walked in that day was, put my kid behind a desk and a chair, I don't care what they look like, and just teach them. And furniture's not a big deal for me, it's what they're learning. But after walking out of there, it made me go, you know what? We do have some older stuff, and I would like to see our kids have some new updated things. And thinking of how teachers and how we want teachers to teach, and how movement and collaboration and trying to have kids work together and then get them back apart. We started making that movement at LaCrosse with the tables that we put in about 7-8 years ago in some of the classrooms, where we can have 4 kids working together and things like that. And so I really wanted to look at, how much just the standard desk cost and then how much the newer ones cost. And when I was talking to our sales a woman last week, and I was asking her questions about just the standard desk that we're all used to, the chair and the desk being together into one. She said they're almost on an 18-month wait right now, because they can't get aluminum for the desk. And so, she said it's been tough to find those right now. So, when I went to have one, this is very similar to what they had. And so, what my vision is to put everything on wheels. And have everything that it's very movable for the teacher, if they wanna move a kid, or they wanna have big groups, if they wanna separate them. It's also good for our custodians, because they're gonna have to, when they do cleaning, and they wanna do something in the classroom, they can move them. These desks right here are actually stackable, so they can put 5 on top of one another, and both sets, what I'm looking for, has wheels on it. So I was first looking at, do we just, my wish list, what I gave to you guys tonight is my wish list. I don't know if it'll all be done at once. I don't know if it's a 2-year thing, 4-year thing, 5-year thing, but it's a wish list of a K through 12, putting everything in all these classrooms, except for the stuff we're upgrading from LaCrosse, have everything brand new in the classroom next year. So just a couple features I want to show you guys, and I'll tell you, these chairs right here are the same chairs that we bought probably 5-6 years ago. I think when Mrs. Dettering was here, she asked for new chairs, K through 3. Those are the same chairs that we've already bought and purchased for K through 3, and we haven't had one issue with any of those chairs. We haven't had any break or anything like that. So all of this stuff, talking to the principal at Headland, and then also talking to salesmen, they're planning on this stuff lasting them 15, 20 years, at least. The salesman told me I won't be around the next time we have to buy furniture if we go this route. So, the one nice thing about these tables, like I said, they're very, one hand I can move them. They have this storage cart inside that each kid could have. And let's say we break down classes of, right now we have 2 first grades, and we decide Mrs. McLean's gonna teach math and Mrs. Davis is gonna teach the reading part of the class. The kid can take their tote with them and go to the other classroom and slide it in, and now it's their desk. The thing I wanted to get for the first graders, or for elementary, was a cart like this that they could have multiple totes for each kid, so they could have their math tote, their reading tote, and so these fit 30 totes each. So that would be something that, for elementary, if we could get, I'm looking at, desk and, something like this for them. Again, it's on wheels, really easy to move around, and so that's one good aspect of it. But just looking to see, like I said, it's my wish list of things that I'd like to do. The art room, I would like the tables that I've chosen, and it's the same one for the science room. They are actually, they're on wheels. They have stools with them, and the stools actually are magnetic to the table, to the bottom of the table. And so you can put them underneath the table. And so now it's easier for cleaning purposes. So just each classroom is kind of broke down in there. Like I said, the stuff at LaCrosse, we bought desks last year when COVID first started, so we could spread kids out. We will bring those with us. Our lab tables at LaCrosse in the science lab are probably, I would say, 8 or 9 years old. We would bring those with us and replace the lab tables here that are in bad shape. The lab tables that are in Mr. Stark's room right now, I think some of you guys sat in as students, so I think making that change would be good. We're also looking at doing something a little bit different in the library, and having like a reading nook for the kids. Again, everything on wheels and everything movable. And then the last thing I put in there, I did get quotes on cafeteria tables. To do away with the chairs and have more of a bench right here. And again, they're foldable and then movable because they're on wheels. And so when Scott goes through right now with the Zamboni, he's going through each day and then moving the tables and then doing it where we could end lunch, fold those up, put them to the side, And so it just makes it a little bit more efficient for our custodians.
That's included in that.
That's it, that is not included in that. The initial price they gave me for cafeteria tables, they thought it was between 30 and 35, what they gave me was 24,000.
How far are they, how far short out, how,
So if we bought, if the stuff right there is 12 to 14 weeks, on this stuff. This stuff comes from Germany, it is made, it's boxed, already made, we don't have to build it. And Sharp, included in the price of all that is them, delivering it and installing it for us. So we would not have to incur that cost whatsoever. But they did say these numbers are, freight numbers are gonna be going up. And so that's a possibility of we could see increases on it. The nice thing is, like the green totes, some of the flag totes, things that, like that nature, we can get in 2 or 3 weeks in the they have companies that in the United States. So at the beginning of the year, we said, oh, we're short 5 desks. It'd be a 3-week turnaround for us to get 5 additional desks if we need to.
and some of the workplaces, they're having a lot of stand-up desks, but we have a few people of those. Is that something that's coming in education at all?
It is. So, and that was one thing I looked at, and I will tell you the initial one, or wish list that they gave me, was a whole lot more, was twice the amount. And so what I'm looking for is to put a chair, a desk, and a teacher desk in every classroom. The teacher desks are sit to stand, so they move up to 45 inches to the teacher, and then again, those are on wheels, and they can move throughout the classroom with the students.
The bigger table would be in high school also, that'd be junior high school?
Yeah, the teacher desk comes with a podium on the side of it too, so, I mean, they can be sitting there, they can have a podium right there. It comes, with shelving inside, and it also has, 6 outlets in there for them to be able to plug stuff in, so that will be good, nice for them.
Are they using, 1 or 2 monitors in teacher classrooms? Are they still using 1? Like for space on their desk?
Teachers, most of them are now, I mean, we're now at laptops, yeah, Chromebooks. By next year, every teacher will have Chromebooks. Right now, high school does, we are I think, 1st of March, Jacob said K through 8 will be getting their Chromebooks.
Brian, is this with the library stuff in here? If not, I was
Yes.
just wondering if, when we talked prior,
Yes.
if it's gonna be, if you're getting high school furniture too.
So what we're looking at is, we're looking at getting 4 chairs in there
Mhm.
that kids could sit on, and it could be adult or it could be a student. They're like a vinyl type, so they can be wiped off very easily. And then in the one corner, we're looking at making, it almost looks like 2 steps. And it's a lot, and I've seen it in a lot of schools where the kids can sit that at either level, and the teacher can read to them in that corner. I will tell you, I know, in the past, we've had different, clubs in the, like a Lions Club help out, and that was something that I might take to them and ask them if they wanna help out with that, and make that a Lions Club reading book or something like that. And so that would be one thing I was thinking of.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Brian, for putting all that together. I know we've spent a lot of hours with that salesperson pushing that number down.
What'd you say the lead time on this stuff is?
12 to 14 weeks for delivery, if we have like a big order, it's a quick shipment, that's 2 to 3 weeks.
Is there any, even in the marketplace, any value for the older stuff here? I mean, is it throwaway, or is it auction, what is it?
I will tell you, I've seen New Prairie a few years ago had student desks, they had purchased new student desks, and they had old student desks, and, first, they had them out there for free for any school that was near them that wanted them. And then I've seen other schools, I know Gary has a auction every year of just items.
I was just curious too,
Yeah,
any value that you get towards it, that it's even $3,000, whatever.
yeah.
If possible, we put that out, I send that out to the superintendent group. The schools do sell stuff that way.
Or even some public might want to.
Mhm. I know Sharp School Services said when COVID first hit, they were selling out a desk in their little store that they have in Hobart because parents were buying them
Right.
to create an environment at home of,
Yep.
this is school time, sit at your desk, and
Yeah.
and so they were selling out of them. wherever they
Like,
was.
how old do you think these are? There might even be a date on the bottom of it, to be honest, but
Yeah, for sure.
Especially with cafeteria tables, and I was asking Kelly before, but, I mean, is cafeteria tables something that we could move forward with? If they have a long lead time, or are there things in here that have a long lead time that we could do a motion of support to kind of
Yeah.
let you guys that you're, as you're going through this, with the lead times, to be able to start ordering this stuff so it's here when we're all in building next year. And I know it's not a super huge rush or anything, but we're talking about it, and I'm not gonna speak for everybody else, but I think it makes perfectly good sense. Fresh addition, fresh start, fresh furniture. Because it's something that we can do a motion of support without saying, yeah, go ahead and spend all of it, but let's start getting some of this stuff coming.
so that, especially how you plan it out, lead times.
Yeah, I think it will. And, I mean, on one hand, I like where you're going with that.
Yeah, I get it.
I think another month for me, and I'll have some more guys' one-page spreadsheets that map it out a little bit for us and give us options of,
Can you have him do,
maybe we can do all of it, or maybe we can do it in halves or quarters.
What my opinion, Aaron, I'm probably pretty close with Aaron.
Yeah,
I mean,
been
on this
out
subject,
too long?
sure.
is we are not, I'm so sick and tired of hearing, oh, it's just 5 classrooms, no, it's not 5 classrooms.
Right.
It's a whole school environment. That's
I
what we're
like it.
doing.
I like that thought.
It needs to be completely redone.
Yep.
I understand it's
Oh, that's-
expensive, but if we were,
So I was trying to figure where March puts us as far as like the 12 to 14 week lead time. That's putting you with that stuff to almost mid-July, late June, mid-July. And you're looking to start at school August 15th. And that's why I was saying, stuff like the 12 to 14 week stuff. I mean, and I get what you're saying,
Yeah.
that's fine, as long as we just have enough time so it's not stuff you trickle in at the very end and we're waiting on something for next school year.
Right.
If that's the direction we wanna go, let's make sure it's here by summer.
Yeah. So I'd ask you to continue digging on lead time.
Okay.
And make sure that, because I agree. I'm partial to definitely, I really like the idea of cafeteria tables.
I don't wanna order.
And those table, and I know it's hard with those, it's black and white, those pictures,
Yeah.
with all the tables are green and black, they had, a couple of them say Tri-Township on them.
The thing about
They have
it is,
the-
if we order a few now, order a few, who knows they're not gonna be out.
Right.
And then it's gonna look,
No, you're on the right track. My only thing is, even on down this list tonight, the strategic plan, we've got other things, and I want to make sure we're picking the right
right, I understand.
grouping.
I would think they'd be able to give you a pretty firm delivery date.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, and I feel like we have the time for March.
Yeah, right, I'm just,
So-
that's my opinion, sorry.
Okay, no, that's good. No, and I'm glad to hear that.
Well, Brian, you said the cafeteria stuff was not.
It's not in, no, forgot.
Okay.
That would be it, yeah.
that's,
And it was right around 24,000.
Yeah, you have that in the back page.
Yeah, yep. So, which I was really happy with, because the original ones I quoted were 30, and they weren't even, they didn't have any graphics on them, but it's nice.
Graphics are expensive.
Yep.
Oh, you.
And that number it could go down a little bit too. We've been going back and forth as far as how many we can fit in this space. I feel like we can fit a few more, they told me no, but, so we're kind of going back and forth. I feel like we can continue this layout. They're gonna be a little bit wider than what we're used to because of the bench.
Are they the same amount of,
Oh, are
Copy
they
of this stuff.
benches?
Yeah, that's why I told them we were trying to get, we could fit 168 in here now, and I told them we had to get to at least that number.
Yeah.
We were trying to get to 192, 200 was the goal.
Right.
But that's for another day.
We can't discuss.
I can tell you now that every 30 days, your transportation cost is gonna go up. I mean, just look at the last 30 days going to the grocery store. What's not there because they can't get it delivered, you know?
but inflation isn't our friend, right?
Hey,
No.
Brian, did they take a look at the room and try to configure the way that, instead of going north and south?
They had them going this way.
I was gonna say.
East and west.
I wonder if it fit more in going
They
east
were-
and west.
And they were really worried about the doorways. You know, the first thing I was trying to get was actually the long tables and circle tables.
Yeah.
That would have the seating on it already for the circle tables. I was worried about little kids being on those,
Yeah.
and so using those, so, and it wasn't gonna get us, I think it was only gonna get us 120 seats,
Oh.
which was gonna be an
Maybe
issue.
have accessible, Ryan, those benches.
Right.
The ends,
Okay.
yeah, the
right.
kids will be able to set the ends.
And what's the fire code? How far do you have to be away from the doors? Is it 3 feet, 4 feet?
I think what they were showing was 3 feet from every door entrance, it was, so, and we have a lot, I never noticed until I looked, we have a lot of door entrances in here.
There's a lot of doors in here.
But do you still utilize like space like that in here?
Not yet,
But you will be.
I would like to, I'd like to find a way to.
To do what?
To utilize more of
Because
that
for
space.
many years that wasn't even touched.
Like
Yeah.
cabinets and stuff?
Yeah, and so it's taking up space, but.
Yeah. Indiana Farm Bureau has something back there, and I don't think they've had a meeting here in 10, 12 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But yeah.
So from what I'm seeing here, Brian, you're, in large part like the elementary grades, some of the situations you're talking about pretty much everything, and then some of them you're talking about some of the stuff being.
K through 3 chairs are new, so those would stay. They're newer, and they are this brand already, so they would stay. So we didn't have to start getting chairs until 4th or 5th. The nice thing about those chairs is, too, when you have a bigger kid, and with those desks, you can move them out of the classroom if you need to. The thing I liked about Heveland was they gave every teacher 30 desks and 30 chairs and said, this is yours. It doesn't leave your room. If you only have 25 kids this year, find a way to use the other 5 desks. To me, that would be wasteful for us to put 30 desks in every room or 25 desks in every room if we don't have those numbers. So I tried to get our numbers to where it's gonna be, we're gonna use them. And if we have to steal from a class for 1 year, then we do. If we have to buy more because enrollment went up, I think that's a win-win for us.
For the last 20 years.
And you're thinking that, they'll have same models and so forth for a number of years, so if you have to get more than.
No.
So I think that is a perfect segue, I like my words tonight now, into our 5-year strategic plan, number 12. Because what I've put in a request, because we, from Stifel, who can tell us what kind of funds are gonna be available to us, staying tax neutral over the next several years, okay? So still 73 cents. But what kind of money will be available for us to do these upgrades and things? That, remember, we've got the 2014 debt that is being paid off.
Right.
And that, staying as it is, we'll have some funds. I'm waiting to hear what that information is. But looking at the 5-year strategic plan, that we've really got to keep building these things to make sure, I agree, the front, I know we all have in our minds, we want every square inch of our facility to look brand new. I think we can get there. We know the entrance area is important to us. We know that the cafeteria is a place that public comes to and sees. Restrooms. We know now we're gonna have a wing addition that's gonna have a brand new set of restrooms in it. But I walk into some of our other restrooms here and they are showing their age. That would be a high dollar upgrade, facelift. So that's why I wanna make sure I share Brian's vision with the furniture, but we've got so many puzzle pieces. That's where that 1 to 5 years, what do we want to happen now so that when we walk in on whatever my calendar said, August 15th, that what do we want done by then? So we've got some small decisions, some larger decisions. This spring and summer about how we want to spend our operation money, how we might want to spend some of our saved money. But that's where so if you look at number 25 through 28, I just went back to our living document here. I shaded some of the items green that we've gotten done. We wanted the LED lighting on the parking lot of LaCrosse fixed. We've gotten some good feedback on that. That's fixed, so we count that done, it's colored green. We talked, at one time, you will remember we talked about a central office need. Well, we made the decision, central office can live inside this building for the time being. So I colored that green. That's got a check mark for right now. New sign for the Tiger Den. We wanted the same digital sign there that's here at Wanatah. It's delivered, it's in the midst of its installation, but the weather has beaten us back for the time being. As soon as we get rid of that snow off there, the electrician and the installer will once again unite and get that done.
My wife will be glad to hear that, Mark.
Good, good.
Anytime I've been in the vehicle with her and we go by, they need to get that damn sign put up.
Yeah, it would be darn hard to do it right now. The floor scrubber for the Tiger Den. We wanted a better, in spite of Katie's absolute best efforts mopping the floor, we know we need that in order for our athletes to have a good surface to play on at all times. So we colored that green, check mark. We've got our floor scrubber ordered, it has not been delivered yet. But some of the other things we know on our horizon that are on our list. As an example, when we had Trimco give us great feedback on our roof systems, they also said, hey, the other thing we know is you got some tuck pointing needs coming up. The outside of this building hasn't had a lot of attention. Brian and I talk a lot about the brown metal trim, I guess it is. That needs attention. So where does that come in? Like I mentioned, the restrooms, the rest of the existing restrooms we have throughout this building. And then you get into your more yearly spring, summer list of what are our painting needs? Do we want to get this building painted every wall? We need pricing on that. We need to know what that could possibly cost us. Is that a phase-in? You covered media center furniture too. We talk about, do we needs as far as bus drop-off and pickup? Do we need a different layout for that sort of thing? Our kitchen here, we know we have items in here that are not working. So it's this document that we gotta keep going back to, even though I know Brian gave a great presentation on furniture, and he had me. But I wanna make sure that we put the right amount there and the right amount in other places too. So it's an ongoing discussion here we need to have. And this next month is really important for us to do that. So.
How much work is it then to get, for me, a numbers guy, how much work is it and the timing to get the numbers associated, similar to what we have with the desk to figure out priority?
Yeah.
Of course, numbers are key.
That's the key. So I've made a request to get a better handle on what the dollar figures that are gonna be there available to us.
Yes.
But now we need to know what all of this 2 sheets worth of possible upgrades, facelifts, changes, modernization, we need prices to go along with that. And then we will have the two things that are vital to us to make the best decisions. Here's what these items, kind of like an à la carte, here's what everything would cost, here's your dollars. Now we can really pick and choose. So that's kind of where I'm at on that, and that's why I need one more month before we can tell him, here's what you can do on that front. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Some of this will also, I mean, getting everybody under one roof is gonna
Exactly.
dictate where some of the moves need to be.
Yeah.
You know, but-
Yeah.
so.
And certainly, still on our list are some things like the Tiger Den. Now that we're vacating the kitchen and cafeteria area, and we've had so many decades-long needs of additional locker room space. I mean, when the three officials for the Friday night South Central game are dressing in the superintendent's office, we've got needs down there, those are on our list. And it's darn hard, our list is long, so prioritizing and rank ordering is going to be difficult, and it's gonna be roll up our sleeves and deciding what those are.
The most important thing, of course, is educating the kids, but
Without question.
but as a business in today's world, you have to market yourself. And
Yeah.
to your point earlier, Brian, when you walk in, when you have people deciding where they're gonna live or where they're gonna choose their school, you wanna walk in and you wanna blow them away with that you need to be impressed. If you have two schools that you're weighing in on and you wanna make a decision where your kid's gonna spend their next 13 years, it has to be a pivotal point for us. So I think it's key that we strategically look at this and make the right decisions. It just, in today's day and age, if we're gonna increase our enrollment, then I don't know about anybody else, but I went to the South Central game on Friday, and going out to the public, the next 2 days, I had over, either online or in public, the atmosphere that was seen at that South Central LaCrosse game, and how it was packed to the rim, and all the positive atmosphere, and all the things that we had to show. I mean, those, you can't put a dollar amount on those kind of marketing for your school corporation, and this is coming from South Central people. They come with a positive atmosphere we have going on at LaCrosse, and it's just immeasurable. Unless you're there, you don't understand how valuable that is.
So that takes me to, because the other item then segues into this as a peripheral of the discussion. Once I got to looking, and what brought this up was the fact that we've got our new digital sign, I've got an old sign going out, and we've come to realize we've had at least 3 people who have said, hey, I'd love to have that sign. So I got to looking, I couldn't see a policy on how we dispose of, a disposition policy, if you will. So I've got Neola policy here, tonight's your first reading of that. It can dictate for us how we get rid of outdated instructional material, equipment, textbooks even, and property. And so the 3 options then, if we end up approving this policy next month, are the highest bidder, sell it to the highest bidder, and that harkens back to Tim asking if there's value in some of this old material, auction-wise, or put it on a list there and see if the school has a need. And then we can choose to donate some things if the board says we think that is a good organization and this outdated equipment may have value to them, it doesn't have value to us, and we can donate that. Or if we say the best thing to do with that is throw it away, it goes to the dump. So that's what this policy is, and that's your first reading on that. And
Question.
we will revisit that again next month.
I'll put it on here.
Anything additional on principal report?
I got a few things.
Okay.
So I'll start athletically. We had Ben Garwood join the 1,000-point club, so only the 9th player in school history to do that, so he did that at the PCC tournament in Spring Grove. During PCC, we had Kyle Gorski win the Emmy Dinsmore Middle Attitude Award, so that's, he's nominated by his coach, and then the coaches of PCC picked that. Girls basketball ended last week, earlier than we wanted it to, but they ended the year with 14 wins. So a 10-win improvement, which I think it was the best in the state of Indiana. as far as a team going from wins from last year to this year, so we had 4 wins last year, 14 this year. And then just also our girls and boys basketball teams, I received multiple reports from the IHSA of officials putting in reports of good sportsmanship by our fans on a couple nights, our players and our coaches. So that's always nice to see. We get a point bump every time for our rating for the IHSA. You start at an even 100, I think we're at like 109 now this year. So it's just always nice to get those every year, and from different states too. So, we had the spelling bee here on the 28th. Our elementary division winner was Caitlin Shealy. Our middle school division winner was Sydney Dunn. So they will advance to the LaPorte County District Spelling Bee. That will be on March 10th at Westville. We will have IRE testing and for 3rd grade and SAT testing. That's mandatory now for all juniors. They have to take the SAT test. So that we'll have that the first week of March. This thing behind me came from our STEM Acceleration Grant that we received last year. I ordered this in August or September, and it finally came in last week. It has 15,000 pieces of it that came with it. Took about 2 hours, I think, to put everything in it. But small motors, tubing, just anything that you can think of for our STEM. And so one of the things that we haven't had in the last few years is robotics, and we have a teacher that's very interested right now in bringing that program back. And starting and actually starting engineering at the high school. And so having this and having some of the other stuff we bought, having the robotic stuff that we had bought previously, and we still have, that we can use already. It's just another pathway that we can have in-house that's not vocational at Michigan City. So it adds a good pathway now that we have it for the high school students. And so I look at adding this back in as a special for our elementary kids, and having